What's up guys, it's Christy back for another video blog. It has been so long since the last one. I feel like we're friends that haven't caught up in a while and I just want to diarrhea mouth everything. Wait, is that the saying? Diarrhea vomit? No, word vomit. Word vomit. I want a word vomit on you. That's what I meant. So first, life has been crazy. Been traveling, somewhat homeless, going from Vegas to San Diego, to San Francisco, Lake Tahoe, and taking road trips and not really sure where I'm going to land. I've also started a podcast. It's called WTF Am I Doing With My Life? Because that is the question that I've been asking myself for the past year or so. So you guys know that I've played poker professionally for the last 3 years, but there's been a nagging inside me that's saying I'm meant to do something bigger, something more. I am super into fitness, so I got my personal training certification, super into emotional intelligence, so I got my EQ training certification to coach that. And I want to write a New York Times bestseller. I've got all these things that I want to do, but I'm still just really trying to figure it out. So I started this podcast because so many people that I talk to are in the same position. Maybe it's not the exact same thing, but they're all in some ways asking themselves this existential question. Either they don't know what to do in their relationship, they're with someone, and when they are with them, they want to shove a stick in their eye and they're like, oh, what the F am I doing with my life in this relationship? Or they're in a job they hate and they're in a cubicle 8-9 hours out of every day with a boss that is condescending.
So there's no problem.
Yeah. If you could just go ahead and make sure you do that from now on, that would be great. And I'll go ahead and make sure you get another copy of that memo. Okay?
Yeah, no, I have the memo. I've got it. It's right.
Hello, Phil.
Just like, what the F am I doing with my life? So I figured I would start this podcast and have experts in these areas of growth, like emotional intelligence, spiritual growth, personal development, and then also interview people who have asked themselves this same question to figure out their calling or what they want to do or what adversity they've faced. And actually coming up on Tuesday, one of those people is someone who escaped the Chinese mafia and is now a leader in the community, been married 20 years and has 4 amazing kids. Really interesting story. So if you haven't checked it out already, go to iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, just search for Christy Arnett or WTF Am I Doing With My Life, and you'll find it. So this past couple weeks has been crazy because I made a decision. Actually, my husband and I made a joint decision. As I started the podcast and told him that I wanted to start a business, wanted to put myself out there in a way that I never had before and figure out a way to make a living for myself and my family that is separate from poker. And that was really scary. And I started the podcast and I was working on some things and trying to do everything myself and trying to do it without spending a lot of money. But I felt like I was just spinning my wheels. And every time I went to go play poker, I was feeling guilty for not spending time on the business. And every time I was spending time on the business, I was feeling guilty for not playing poker and making money. And I told my husband this. And he sat me down and he said, you know, there was a time where you carried a lot of the weight for our family. And right now I'm in the position where I can do that. I can carry the weight. Because he believes in me, because he believes in the difference I can make for people, he is willing to support us and the family while I work on the business. Whatever money I make playing poker is money I get to invest in equipment, in marketing the podcast, and doing all of these things. Whether that's hiring a book coach or doing workshops on my own so that I can bring more value to people. So once we made that decision, I was feeling really scared about it because I've always been the kind of girl who's been like, no, I can do everything myself. I don't need you to help me. I don't need anything. I'll be fine. I don't want to burden anybody. And what I realized was that is something that holds me back too. I have been afraid to ask for help. I've been afraid to ask for support. The truth is that the full circle of giving is receiving, and I realized that I was not giving people the opportunity to give when they wanted to. Like, doesn't it feel good to give to someone else? But what if someone tells you never to give to them? What? Right? So I really softened into what my husband is willing to do and really got excited about grinding for a purpose. Poker is this purpose for me now. What we decided was that since our money is all together, I would just start with $5K and play, smaller stakes. That way, hopefully it would be low stress. We're still trying to make a baby. When I'm at the poker table, I could do that. When I'm away from the table, I could just focus on the business. So I was really excited because I had put poker on the back burner, hadn't been playing for a while, and I was excited to grind for a purpose, you know? And then I started up 2K, and then immediately down. Oh, tonight has been terrible. I was stuck a ton, and then I just made a mistake. It's rough, but the game is good, and I have a vision in mind, so I'm gonna keep grinding. But then I was up 3K, doing really good. And then a few days ago, I just almost went totally busto. I was in a crazy game, it was playing really big, and I was stuck 4K, had to borrow some money from Andrew, above that 5,000 that I started with, but the story ends well.
Are you in a hand right now?
Huh?
Are you in a hand right now?
Yeah.
Let me see.
Even better.
That's
Finger bomb. Finger bomb shot. Finger bomb.
You ready to go? Can I pull you all the way from this table?
Yeah.
Right there.
Guys, sorry guys, the old ball and chain.
What? Jeez.
That session was crazy. I actually ended up winning that session. So I gave the money back that I borrowed from Andrew. I still have this bankroll. I grinded last night, and I've actually been sharing a ton on my Snapchat and Instagram stories. If you don't follow there, definitely do so. I am determined to make this shit happen. I'm determined to be the source of inspiration and change in people and getting them results in some way. I don't know what it looks like yet, but I'm figuring it out. So I want you to follow along with me. And I'm just gonna be totally transparent about all of this. So here's my role so far. So it's kind of like JRB, except this is not broke living. This is like, I don't know, the opposite of that. Okay, bye.